For some time, I've been thinking about what is so special about using a GPS as a navigation tool for hiking. I think it boils down to absolute confidence that you know where you are, and secondly, you know that your original plan is working properly. Also, if there were problems with that plan or conditions change, GPS units have various reliable ways of changing that plan in a way which means that you never get hopelessly lost. One of the best things about navigating with a GPS is you can almost forget about it, and it will tell you when you need to consult it so you can fully enjoy your walk. Paper maps used with a compass require proactive attention. You must be constantly aware of what is significant detail in the landscape and how that relates to your position. You need to carry in your memory some sort of plan, and your only resource if vision is obscured by weather or the lack of daylight is to use a compass. A compass is fine in unobstructed landscapes like the sea, but on land there are all sorts of hazards and obstructions to work around. Therefore, errors in a compass reading, which is constantly changing as you move across the landscape, can compound themselves. Maps work well indoors, laid out flat on a table. Outdoors, in the wind and the rain, they act like sails. The common solution to this problem is to carry maps folded in a transparent waterproof map cover. This is fine until the vital detail is situated on the other side of the fold, or worse still, actually on the fold. It must be said, however, that when you buy a GPS and get it out of the box and read the manual, you can be forgiven for feeling confused. When you try it out, some things work as expected, but frustratingly, other things don't. So, how do we reach the nirvana of always knowing where we are and where to go next? I can shortcut years of trial and a lot of error by giving you the recipe for success. The outline recipe works for all Garmin Etrex series, and its principles apply to most other Garmin GPS units. So why not just use the GPS on your phone with something like Google Maps? The answer to that is yes, by all means, but at the moment batteries are the key problem. You need to carry a battery bank and regularly visit a charge point to keep your phone going. Your mobile phone is like a Swiss Army knife. It can do everything, but eventually you're going to do it better with a dedicated tool. GPS batteries are long-lasting and can be purchased in almost every small store. My ultimate answer is to carry everything. Use the mobile for contacting people, load maps into it so they can be used offline when there's no phone signal, but leave the phone in standby so you don't drain the battery. The recipe I'm about to describe assumes you have tried out your GPS and that you want to make it work properly when you're walking. It's intended that you download a route into the route planner. When you select the route and select Go and zoom into your planned start point, with the settings suggested, the route will be represented by a series of lines, which are usually magenta, which will run from bottom to top of the screen center if you're heading in the correct direction. On reaching the vicinity of the waypoints which mark your turns, the GPS will beep as a reminder to check the screen. So now we've gone completely off track, let's look at what clues our GPS is giving us to get back to our route. The turn indicator says 177 degrees to our left. Well, that's nearly 180 degrees, so we know we have to turn back and face the other way. We also know that we're about 1/10 of a mile from our next waypoint. As well as this, we can't see any sign of the route on our screen, and so the first thing to do is to zoom out so we can see it. Each type of GPS will have its own configuration of buttons or screen swipes. When my Etrex boots up, it goes straight to what might be called the functions list. I note that my old GPS 60 boots up in satellite search mode first, and that if I want to get to the functions, I need to press the page button until the page of functions comes up. I select the map function. I then use the menu button on the left side of the device, and then use my joystick and toggle down to Set Up Map and select that option. This reveals 4 further options. If orientation reveals either north up or automotive mode, I select it and toggle to track up and select. On my GPS, I then press the back button and the display will return to the map, which now displays in track up mode. Your GPS will have a similar back move available. I found the item or the part of the display I wanted to do it to. I then brought up the menu options available to that function, in this case the map display. I then selected an option and selected its settings and chose one. I then returned back to the display.